Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys why you should read the Ponniyin Selvan series. I'm sure that since the movie is going to be released pretty soon, many people will be interested in reading the books after watching the movie, and some people might even be interested in reading the books before watching the movie. In this video, I'm going to cover what Ponniyin Selvan is about, why it is very popular, why it is getting compared with Game of Thrones and Bahubali a lot, and also some of the influence that it has played on the Tamil film industry. At the same time, some characters which are inspired from Ponniyin Selvan, just in order to kindle your interest to read the books. So without any further ado, let's get into the video right away. First, I'll tell you guys what Ponniyin Selvan is about. Now, Ponniyin Selvan is a historical fiction series that is written across 5 books by Kalki Krishnamurti in the 1950s. It was actually published in a magazine at weekly chapters, and afterwards, because of the popularity that it gained with the audience, it was released as 5 volumes of books. The series is over 2000 pages long, and I should say that each and every page is filled with the beauty of Tamil and the Cholanadu from 1000 years ago. As I said, right now the story does happen 1000 years ago, but the way in which the author has brought that time period in front of our eyes is just awesome. The only thing which I'd like to say for people who don't know Tamil is that some names inside the series might be difficult for you to pronounce, because it is difficult even for people who read Tamil on a daily basis and speak Tamil on a daily basis. For example, I can say myself, I've studied Tamil for 12 years in school and after that 1 year in college. Even for me, those names were difficult to remember and pronounce in the first book, but after that I got well acquainted with them very easily. So if you feel that the names of the places as well as the characters are a bit difficult to pronounce in the first book, trust me, it's the same case with the people who know Tamil as well. Now, Kalki has actually written the entire Ponniyin Selvan series based upon 2 historical events that have happened in the history of the Chola Empire. I'm not going to reveal both of those significant events right now because there'll be huge spoilers for the movie. Though the author talks about the Chola kings and the Chola Empire from 1000 years back, he does not keep on glorifying each and everything about the people as well as the place as a whole. He has made each and every one of these characters flawed in one way or the other. Of course, they are amazing people, but they too have flaws, they too have self-doubt. They are also insecure of so many things that are going on in their lives. All those things just humanize those characters who are just shown to be kings and princesses and queens for us in this story. I'm sure not many people will be able to relate with as well as like characters who are just portrayed to be really good and spick and span in every way. All of these characters are flawed in some way or the other. They have jealousy, they have vengeance, they have a lot of anger, and more than anything, each and every one of them doubts themselves for some of the decisions that they make, which makes them so much more human in my personal opinion. So I think because of these factors, each and everyone who reads Ponniyin Selvan will be able to relate with at least one of the 5 different main characters whom we focus on there, and it will definitely keep you plugged into the story. Read it until the end and also even want more. Next, let us see why it is very popular even after 70 years since it was released. As I said before, it was released in the 50s, and even now it is super popular because of one main reason, and that thing stands out to me compared to any other thing about the series, and it is the fact that it is so simple and easy to understand as well as read at the same time. The author has written each and every chapter in very short chunks so that you can just sit down and enjoy each and every chapter without having to go and search for a dictionary in order to understand each and everything. Even though it was written 70 years back, the author has not made it intentionally difficult for people to read and understand, because as far as I can see, this series has been targeted towards humanity as a whole and not towards any particular specific socio-economic group. No matter what genre you like consuming media from, I'm sure you will enjoy Ponniyin Selvan because it has something for each and every person out there. If you want mystery, if you want a huge fantastical world, if you like history, if you like wonderful characters and a nail-biting plot, it has each and every one of these. I'm sure that the last book will be a huge bomb for anyone who's reading it, because for most part of the last book, anyone will not be able to predict anything that is going to happen towards the ending of the book. And I think that is one thing which has just kept the readers close to the series across decades. And the other important reason why I think Ponniyin Selvan is popular till date is because it is heavily rooted in the Tamil culture. Okay, I know that each and every one of us in India are very proud of our culture, and if there is anything that is connected with our culture, we try to preserve it and hold it dear to our hearts for generations. So because of that, I think Ponniyin Selvan has been held together by Tamil people for all these years, because it is very much tied in with the culture, and the way in which each and every character speaks about the culture and feels proud about it just shows how much the author has loved this culture as well as the language as a whole. He is not just an author or a writer, he's also been a freedom fighter, so it's not just tied in for Tamil Nadu but India as a whole. He talks about various regions inside India also while he narrates the story, even though most of the story happens in Tamil Nadu alone. Now, many people might have this misconception that since it is a Tamil series, it might be totally focused on people inside Tamil Nadu alone, but it is not like that, because the series not just happens in India, but some part of the series happens in Sri Lanka also, and we get chunks and pieces of things that are happening in other countries that were under the Chola rule during that time. So I think because of the traces of the culture spread out across different parts of the world, this story remains strong even now 70 years after it has been written. Now I want to get to the juiciest part of this video. I'm going to tell you guys why it is heavily compared to Game of Thrones as well as Bahubali, and I also want to tell you guys why it is very different and more original compared to both of these things. Now just in order to make this be understood clearly, I just want to give you a small timeline, okay? Ponniyin Selvan was published in the 50s. The Game of Thrones first book was released in 1996 and the Bahubali first film came out in 2015. I'm saying this order in specific because I'm sure that after watching the movie, there are going to be so many people who have not read the books who will say that many of these scenes from the series are copied from Bahubali as well as Game of Thrones. But trust me, it is definitely not the case because this has come out almost 4 to 6 decades before both of these huge phenomenon that we've seen so far, namely Game of Thrones and Bahubali. And I personally think that it is not right to compare Bahubali with Ponniyin Selvan because Bahubali is totally imaginative and Ponniyin Selvan is based off of true incidents and written about true characters who lived in Tamil history as well. I'm not trying to say that Ponniyin Selvan is better than any of these things in any way. I'm just saying that both of them are completely different. Just because they are huge in scale, we should not compare both of them together. I can also understand why people are comparing both of these things together because in our Indian cinema, we have not seen anything such huge in scope before Bahubali. So it is natural to compare anything that is released after that along with that one because as human beings, we are all wired in that way. But when it comes to comparing it with Game of Thrones, my explanation is going to be a bit different because Game of Thrones as well as Ponniyin Selvan are much more similar to each other compared to Bahubali in any way. All three are huge in their scope, but I think Ponniyin Selvan as well as Game of Thrones are so much closer to each other because the plot lines of both of these things, at the same time the characters whom we see playing inside Ponniyin Selvan seem so much similar to the characters in Game of Thrones even though it was released 4 decades before. I'm sure anyone who's a fan of Game of Thrones or Bahubali is going to enjoy Ponniyin Selvan a lot because even though it is about this huge world and the fight for a throne, it is definitely not rooted in those things. It is actually rooted in these true real characters whom we root for and want to follow and get the throne. And also when it comes to this case, Ponniyin Selvan has an advantage because all the 5 characters whom we are going to see as main characters inside Ponniyin Selvan have almost an equal fan following inside the fandom because each of them deserves the throne and each of them deserves what they want clearly. So even though there's a clear-cut hero who's Ponniyin Selvan himself, I'm sure there are so many other fans for all the other 4 characters also. But the main thing which I wanted to tell in this segment is please don't compare it with Game of Thrones or Bahubali because though they are very similar in their grandeur, all of them are unique separate stories. So it will be better not to compare them and show one to be lesser or greater than the others. Now just in order to illustrate how much this has inspired Tamil media as well as Tamil cinema in specific, I just want to quote 2 characters from the books who have influenced a lot many other female characters in the movies that have come so far in the Tamil movie industry. The first one is Nandini, who is the main antagonist of Ponniyin Selvan, and Nandini is played by Aishwarya Rai in the movies, and just as described in the books, Nandini is said to be the most beautiful of all the female characters shown for us in Ponniyin Selvan, but she is not just the beauty, she is also super brilliant and her ambition is actually fueled by the vengeance that she has against the cholas. I'm not going to reveal why she has this vengeance in her heart, but trust me, that vengeance will make you respect her. There have been many strong female characters based on Nandini like Neelambari that have been shown in Tamil cinema and secured a place in the hearts of so many people. The next one is Poongozhi, who I can say is the pioneer for the cute, strong and bubbly female characters that we see very frequently in so many media nowadays. Poongozhi is actually the sailor woman who sails completely alone in the sea from Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka, and she does not seek the help of any man or any person at all. That courage and simplicity of a normal person who's not even royalty inside the series has inspired a lot many characters. And at last, I'd like to tell you guys why it is a series for everyone and not just Tamil people, okay? Even though it's a Tamil series based on Tamil history and focuses on Tamil rulers alone, it's definitely not a series that is just for the Tamil people. Of course, it is heavily rooted in the Tamil culture, but if you see past that, you'll be able to see how significant a role human emotions play inside the story. It doesn't matter who you are, what language you speak or where you are, these characters will speak to you in some way or the other. Even though there are 5 main characters and 1 antagonist fighting against 4 protagonists, trust me, not just the 4 protagonists are going to have fans. Even the single antagonist is going to have the equal number of fans like the 4 protagonists inside the story because each and every one of them is made so human. Our characters here get angry, they feel jealous, they feel insecure, and sometimes they even have a huge self-doubt on themselves while taking huge history-altering decisions. It just shows us how no matter how big you become, you will keep doubting yourself, and it is not a bad thing. And at the same time, the author also shows us using various characters that it is not always necessary to show our intelligence, it's just necessary to use it. So because of all these things that I've said so far, I don't think this series is just for Tamil people but for people in general, because we have this saying in Tamil, Yadu Mure Yavarum Kele, which loosely translates to every place is our place and every people is our people. So keeping that in mind, I don't think it should be segregated for Tamil people alone. And now if I have convinced you to read Ponniyin Selvan, I'm sure if you speak Tamil you know that the Ponniyin Selvan audiobooks are available in almost each and every audio audio streaming platform available out there. But if you specifically want it in English, I found the first book inside the series alone available in English as an audiobook in Spotify. It is translated by Pavitra Srinivasan and narrated by Amit Bhargav. Just in order to film this video and give you my proper opinion, I listened to the entire first book as an audio, and I also listened to it on Spotify only. So just go forward and try it. I'm sure that you'll want to continue with the series. So yes guys, that's it for today, and I hope that this video was useful for you. And if you did find it useful in some way or the other, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. And if you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.